Number 1 is Scenic. It's the best rider navigation and route finding app. See, Scenic is specifically made for bikers, so the interface is minimal, intuitive, and with quite a large font. In other words, it's easy to glance down while riding and get the information you need, just in case you miss a voice command. Scenic also lets you search for nice riding roads, which are handmade by other motorcyclists. I've been using a lot of apps recently, and the routes that Scenic finds for me, they're the most consistently fun to ride. Of course, I should also do my part in adding roads to the Scenic collective, and that's easy. The route creator is so simple. You just throw on your start points, your waypoints, wherever you want them to be. You can undo them, you can reverse them, eventually you'll chuck an endpoint on there. And then you just choose to avoid all the things that suck for motorcyclists, highways, tolls. I can choose the fastest route, the most efficient route, whatever that is. And then I can throw on some geotagged photos in here, show everyone how sweet my ride is. You can also simply ride and just have the app create your track in real time. Or if you have old GPX files or routes from Google Maps, you can import them by pasting a link. But if your file includes a billion waypoints, Scenic's going to compress it to the best 200. It's not so bad really, that's a higher level of accuracy than you'll get on most apps, plus you can download it to run the map offline when you're out of cell range. A couple things I don't like. For one, the app can't compute the most curvy route, which is a nice motorcycling benefit that you'll find on competitors like InRoute. Also at $10.99 per year or $50 for life, I think Scenic's overpriced. It's not that $10 is really that expensive, but we're all cheap bastards when it comes to apps. Now, Eat, Sleep, Ride does all the same navigation stuff, but I find this interface to be much crappier. The reason ESR made the list is for 2 other features. One is community building. I can see all the other riders nearby and easily get in contact to create a group ride. It's super easy to make new friends, and since ESR is the most used moto app, you'll find a lot of them on here. ESR also lets me find nearby routes, but I can't see what they look like at a glance, and I find that the ride quality is more hit and miss. Back to the community thing, there's an Explore feed. It's basically like Facebook for motorcyclists. Anyone can post, share, blog, whatever. I kinda hate that stuff, but it seems like there are a lot of people on here that enjoy it. So okay, Eat, Sleep, Ride is great for community building, but the other thing it does well is crash light. This uses the accelerometer in my phone to detect a crash, and when it does, it'll notify preset contacts when and where I've gone down, unless of course I cancel it within 3 minutes. And it's actually really hard to get a false alert. Just dropping your phone won't do it, since the GPS knows that you're not riding somewhere. I couldn't manage to set it off with a really hard stop either. It seems like the geeks at U of T did a solid job designing this. Only downside is that crash light costs $20 a year. The rest of the ESR app is free though. Now ESR can also keep track of your speed and lean angle, but I think Pirelli makes a cooler app for that. They call it Pirelli Diablo Superbiker, and it is pure performance. No navigation, no route planning. It'll just track your ride and the information from it. Speed, lean angle, distance, G-force, altitude, temperature, and if you're on a track, lap time. I can relive my entire race, stat by stat, in badass black and red. The only other thing I can do is input my bike and tires. Although to this app, anything that isn't a Pirelli is known simply as generic. 4th favorite app is AutoSyst. First I fill the garage, like with my WR250R named Juliet. And there's all her information, and I can input any service she receives, like the tire change I did at the start of the season, or the fork springs I had installed at Laval Moto, complete with details and a copy of the receipt. You can also keep track of fuel fill-ups, but nobody's that anal. Then I have my reminders. Need to do the valve clearance at 42,000, next oil change in 315 days or at 42,560, that kind of thing. The glove box is one of my favorite parts. You can keep records of your vehicle registration, your insurance papers, your driver's licenses, and then I have the notes section where I have a link to my owner's manual, contact information for my favorite parts supplier, my oil type, my tire pressure, little things I might otherwise forget. AutoSyst is the best motorcycle maintenance app, bar none. It can even create printable vehicle history reports and transfer all of its data to another user when I go to sell the bike. Only problem is the app couldn't pull maintenance intervals and recall notices from my VIN number. I got it to work for this random car, but no luck on motorcycles. Now, for weather I use a little app called Motorcycle Weather. It's not updated that often, but the thing is so simple that it doesn't matter. Go in, set your favorite riding conditions, maybe above 5 and below 30 degrees Celsius, maybe under 50% precipitation, below 35 km/h winds. And after that, I can just look at the week ahead of me and see every good riding day at a glance, denoted with a little motorcycle. What's great is that this can send me an alert when the weather matches my ideal riding conditions. And what's not that great is the accuracy. It tends to give a general impression of the day, rather than spot-on minute-by-minute reports. For that, I would use WeatherBug. It's a different app that's perfect for immediate answers. I can see the current behavior of weather systems based on a huge network of international weather meters, webcams, and radar stations. And plus the layers are going to give me storms, pollen, precipitation, lightning, and more. When I'm in the middle of a ride and wondering how to outrun the rain, WeatherBug is what I reach for. App number 7, Gas Buddy. Real simple. This lets me find the cheapest gas prices in my area. Bonus points for letting me filter out the gas stations with decent food, and double bonus points for showing me the ones that have premium fuel on tap. Every motorcyclist knows how annoying it is to pull into a gas station only to find that they just serve regular. Next app is Waze, which is a hyper-popular alternative to Google Maps, and it's by no means motorcycle specific. And that's a good thing, because Waze relies on every motorist to report on their surroundings. Traffic, construction, and most importantly, cops. If you've got a twitchy wrist and aren't looking to get penalized for it, I would check out Waze before you ride. This is actually so accurate that police departments are starting to protest the app's existence. Our penultimate choice is the only one that I seriously urge you to download. It's a first aid app. I chose the Canadian Red Cross because of my Canuck bias. Well, basically it walks you through a bunch of emergencies, what the symptoms are, what you should do, how to pace your CPR, and the thing will even dial 911 if need be. The app also contains most of the information and quizzes you'll find in a proper first aid course, which is great, but obviously not a replacement for actually taking the course. Last year I was present at 3 motorcycle crashes. Unfortunately, they're not an unlikely event for someone who does a lot of group rides. Make sure you're prepared.
I'm Ben, I'm the parts manager at Westminster Harley-Davidson. I sell quite a few different phone cases that mount to handlebars from all kinds of different companies. The Rokform one is definitely one of the ones I'm most impressed with quality-wise. It seems to be built really well. I have one myself, I've tried it out. Really strong tank magnet that actually holds on, including a lanyard that in case the magnet actually fails, there's no way it's going to fall off your phone. The whole mount is made out of metal. You can tell it's actually well engineered. It's built in the United States, so you're supporting a local company. It's great because you can put your phone right in front of you instead of trying to dig through your pocket or trying to feel, to skip through songs. I can check weather before I take off on a ride somewhere in case I've forgotten. There are a couple of programs actually on your iPhone where you can link in engine diagnostics, so you can actually look at your RPM, your speed, and everything on your iPhone. All around, just a great product. I've tried my best to see if I can make it break or fall off, and I have not found it to be faulty in any way, shape, or form.